Anniversary dinners are supposed to be moments of love, reminders of vows made, of years survived together, of promises kept. At least, that's what I thought. But the night I walked into that elegant dining room with roses in one hand and hope in my chest, I had no idea I was stepping into the cruelest performance of my life. Rachel, my wife of 8 years, had chosen a fancy restaurant downtown. Candlelight glowed across linen-draped tables. The clinking of glasses and laughter from other couples filling the air. I had planned to surprise her with a necklace, something delicate she had once admired in a store window. I thought it would be a night to rekindle the warmth that had been fading between us. Instead, it became the night she set fire to everything. We were halfway through the appetizers when she reached into her purse with rehearsed precision. Her eyes were cold, her lips pressed into something that was neither smile nor frown. She slid a manila envelope across the table toward me. "Pack your bags," she said, her voice steady, almost rehearsed. "This house isn't yours anymore." I blinked, stunned. My fork froze midair. "What?" I whispered, though the room suddenly seemed too loud, too bright. She leaned back, crossing her arms with a look of cruel satisfaction. "You've been served. Those are the divorce papers. Already signed. It's over." Before I could even process the words, I heard a sound behind me. Turning slightly, I saw her parents sitting at the table adjacent to ours. They weren't surprised. They weren't shocked. They were nodding, approving. Her father even muttered, "It's about time." My stomach dropped. This wasn't a decision made in the heat of the moment. This was orchestrated, planned, staged. They had turned my wedding anniversary into a stage for my humiliation. Rachel's mother raised her glass, smiling smugly as if celebrating the end of me. And Rachel herself? She leaned forward and whispered, "You'll leave quietly. The house is already in my name. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." Something inside me cracked, but not the way she expected. They thought they were watching me fall apart. They thought I would beg, plead, or storm out in disgrace. But instead, I felt a strange calm wash over me. Because while Rachel had been planning her betrayal, I had been quietly preparing for the truth I had long suspected. Without a word, I pulled my phone from my pocket and tapped the screen. I lifted it just enough for her and her parents to see. "Security." I said clearly into the receiver, "You can come in now." For a moment, confusion flickered across Rachel's face. Then the color drained as two men in suits entered the restaurant, heading straight for our table. Gasps echoed from nearby diners as the men placed discreet folders on the table in front of me. I slid one across to Rachel. "While you were busy planning this little performance, I was busy too. You might have signed divorce papers, but you should know, I've already filed weeks ago, with evidence." Her hands trembled as she opened the folder. Inside were photographs, screenshots, bank statements. Every detail of her affair with a co-worker she swore was just a friend. The trips she took when she claimed to be too busy with work. The hidden joint account where she funneled money behind my back. Her father's smug grin faltered. Her mother's glass stopped halfway to her lips. Rachel herself went pale, her eyes darting between the evidence and me. "You see," I continued calmly, "you wanted to humiliate me tonight. But the truth is, this house you claim is yours? The lawyers disagree. The assets you thought you hid? Already frozen. And the man you've been sneaking around with? He'll be deposed in court, along with anyone else who helped you." Rachel opened her mouth to speak, but no sound came out. "Here's the difference between us," I said softly, leaning closer so only she and her parents could hear. "You played games with lies. I played with facts. You set the stage for betrayal. I set the stage for truth. The security men didn't touch her. They didn't need to. Their presence was enough to send a chill through the air." Other diners whispered, pretending not to stare, but unable to look away from the unfolding scene. I stood slowly, placing the necklace box on the table. Not as a gift anymore, but as a symbol of what she had destroyed. "Happy anniversary, Rachel," I said. "Enjoy your dinner. You'll be needing your strength for court." Then I turned and walked out. That night, I didn't go back to the house she claimed wasn't mine. I went to the condo I had quietly leased weeks before, when the pieces of her betrayal first began to show. The silence, it was heavy, but it was mine. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. The fallout was swift. Word spread through her family like wildfire. Some sided with her, others with me. But the evidence was undeniable. The divorce proceedings weren't the clean victory she had envisioned. They were messy, drawn out, and costly. Every lie she had spun unraveled under oath. Her parents, once so smug, stopped looking me in the eye at hearings. The approval they had worn on their faces at night turned to shame as they realized they had cheered for a betrayal built on quicksand. And Rachel? She lost more than she expected. Not just the house, not just the finances, but the illusion of control. She had planned to discard me like a pawn. Instead, she found herself exposed, cornered, and stripped of the mask she wore so confidently that night. As for me, I walked away not just with my dignity intact, but with the quiet satisfaction of knowing I hadn't needed to scream, beg, or fight dirty. I had simply let the truth speak louder than her lies. In the end, anniversaries mark milestones. That night marked mine. The end of betrayal, the beginning of freedom, and the realization that sometimes the calmest voice in a room is the one holding all the power.